And welcome back, everyone, for week 14 of the 2015 NFL season. I've been in a little bit of a funk with my picks the last couple of weeks, so I've changed locations, hoping it's going to help. I think it will. Here are the picks. The first game we're going to look at has the San Francisco 49ers going to Cleveland, where the Brownies are 1.5-point favorites at home. It's Johnny Manziel's turn again to try to get Cleveland out of their funk. Yeah, it's just a gong show with Johnny Football. You know, Blaine Gabbert, since he's taken over for San Francisco, has played very well. They're 2-2 in the 4 games he started. Their only losses were to Seattle and Arizona. Nothing wrong with that. You know what? I think Blaine Gabbert is the comeback player of the year. You heard it here first. Blaine Gabbert, the comeback player of the year. I think San Francisco is going to win this game, so you get the points. Let's take San Francisco plus 1.5. The second game we'll look at has Washington going to Chicago, where the Bears are 3-point favorites at home. Both of these teams lost a heartbreaker last week. Washington is going to be coming off the short week, and they don't travel very well. They're the only team in the NFL that has not won a game on the road this year. As a matter of fact, they were 1-7 on the road last year, 1-7 the year before that. They just don't play very well against outside of Washington. Meanwhile, you know, the Bears have lost a lot of games at home too, against tough teams: Green Bay, Arizona, my Vikings, Denver. I think the Bears are a little bit more desperate here. And if they lose, they are out. Whereas Washington sort of has a bit of a cushion. It's a small price. So let's take the Chicago Bears -3. The third game we'll look at has Atlanta going to Carolina, where the Panthers are 7.5-point favorites at home. Since a good start by Atlanta, they've just fallen right off the map. And they've gone 0-8 against the spread in their last 8. Meanwhile, you've seen what Carolina has been doing. It was a close one last week in New Orleans. The Saints played them tough, put a lot of points on the board, but that's what New Orleans does. In New Orleans, Carolina a lot better at home. And you know what? They've gone 9-3 against the spread. I think they're going to cover. So let's lay the points. Let's take Carolina -7.5. And the fourth game we're going to look at has Buffalo going to Philadelphia, where the Eagles are 1-point dogs at home. You saw what the Eagles did last week in New England, or against New England. Yeah, in New England. And, well, they got every lucky play in the book. If you took away the punt return for a touchdown, a 99-yard touchdown run, a blocked punt for a touchdown, that really wasn't that close of a game. I think Buffalo will win this game easily. It's a very small price to pay. So let's take Buffalo -1. Here are my 4 over-under plays. The first game we're going to look at is one we talked about already. Washington's at Chicago. That number is 44. Washington's defense is a lot worse on the road than they are at home. They give up a lot more points. I think Chicago's offense will score a lot of points in this game, and the defense will give up enough that this number should easily go over the 44. The second game we'll look at is Detroit at St. Louis. That number is 41. St. Louis fired their offensive coordinator. The offense just got worse and worse as the season progressed. You stop Gurley, the running back, you pretty well stop that offense. I guess it's Case Keenum under center for the Rams. I don't imagine them putting up very many points. Meanwhile, St. Louis does have a decent defense. So let's take under the 41. The third game we'll look at has New Orleans going to Tampa Bay. That's a pretty high number, 50.5. But the Saints always put up, they usually put up good numbers. I think Drew Brees will do that against a pretty Tampa Bay team defense that's racked with injuries, especially on the defensive line. It's the old gunslinger Brees against the new gun, Jameis Winston, which I think this should be a shootout. So let's take over the 50.5. And the fourth game we'll look at has Dallas going to Green Bay. That number's 43.5. Surprisingly, the Green Bay Packers have gone 4 out of 12 under. Now, Dallas, especially with the injuries to quarterback, they like to they're more methodical on offense. They run the ball a lot. They take up a lot of time. The defense isn't bad. I like this to go under the 43 and a half. Here's my Let's Take the Man's Money parlay player. We're going to take Chicago -3, Carolina -7.5, Buffalo -1. We'll take the Washington-Chicago game over the 44. We'll take the Dallas-Green Bay game under 43.5. And we'll take San Francisco on the money line. A $25 play will get you $1,253.17. Let's win one of these. Here are my straight-up plays. We'll start off with the Thursday game. My Minnesota Vikings go to Arizona. I don't think my Vikings will win this game. Arizona's very tough, especially at home. Vikings are banged up. Let's go with Arizona. Cincinnati's at Pittsburgh. Can Andy Dalton win a really important game? Yeah, I think he can. Finally, let's take Cincinnati in that game. A game we talked about earlier. I like Buffalo over Philadelphia. Carolina should have no problem over Atlanta. I think San Francisco will upset the Cleveland Browns, a small upset there. I like Chicago over Washington. I guess the Detroit-St. Louis game is actually a pick'em. I'm going to take Detroit in I guess what would be a bit of an upset. I'll take Kansas City over San Diego. I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints to upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think with Indianapolis, they are going to have Matt Hasselbeck as their quarterback. So I like Indianapolis over Jacksonville. I'll take the New York Jets over Tennessee. How about Houston Texans over an injury-riddled New England Patriots? Why not? We'll go with Houston there. I'll go with Denver over Oakland. I'll take Green Bay over Dallas, but you know, if Dallas hadn't played on Monday night, this could be an upset alert. Green Bay hasn't played very well at home, and Dallas is pretty desperate to win, but I'll still go with Green Bay, but consider the upset there. I'll take Seattle over Baltimore in the Sunday nighter. And on Monday night, the Giants have to win one of these games. I'll take the Giants over Miami. Okay, and those are the picks for this week. Good luck to you. Make sure you check out my website, gioknows.com, and make sure you check out our Facebook page, the NFL YouTube Prognosticators. I'll leave links to both of those below. And make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you haven't, get ready for the voting for the GeoKnows Awards. It's coming soon. I'll keep you informed on that. We give away 5 awards for the best videos in 5 different categories, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, for the GeoKnows YouTube channel, I am Geo. Let's take the man's money.